as an individual and for North America as a whole.
Yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I'm glad to see Infinite is finding his form once again. We are on to that first best of one of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Mirage between both Party Astronauts and Timbermen. There was a knife round to decide who started where, so we'll see who came out on the upper end of that. Whoever's on the CT side should have won it, and the answer is Timbermen. They will be on the CT side to start. Mirage, Kit, Smoke, Flash for Shane, double dualies for Dare and Nero. And one set of utility on Ben Leet for the Party Astronauts team. Slow walk with 3 sitting out mid passive. Kind of spread out towards B and towards underpass. It looks like maybe a B split. Up catwalk is on the cards with that smoke connector. It would make sense, but they need to be careful at range. That USP over top the smoke could do a lot of damage. It does some, but they get by with all 5 surviving. Aleph finds the first from sight. And actually a second as well. Peeping coming out of the apartments, lurking around, finds a double in response though, and it looks to triple down. Left towards bench, finally puts that player down, but he's traded in kind to bring it back to even footing. Timbermen did have time to rotate players in. Both are here, but the bomb is alone. OG Wizard on site is waiting for his teammate. He knows they both are on site, but he cannot find either. Snav finds that kill. The flank from Fang is just a little bit too late, but he can still theoretically clutch the round. It's just going to be a far more difficult process for him. Spotting one, jumping out, trying to isolate something, gets the first, but the IGL Snav quickly gets the trade. Timbermen steal the pistol and start things off well for their CT side.
Yeah, it got a little messy, though. Peeping brought it back to a winnable situation for Party Astronauts, and OG Wizard bought so much time for Fang to come through. I feel like Party Astronauts just thought a little too hard about that round, and if they got Fang there quicker, it puts a lot less stress on OG Wizard to buy essentially 30 seconds of time, which is an eternity on a site hold without the bomb ticking away, too. So maybe just simplify things a little bit for Party Astronauts, and they take away that pistol round. Fang still almost brought it back in the 1 versus 2, but that's a unfavorable situation for him. And it was well played by the 2 Timberman players left alone. So they did well to handle the situation, and they'll go back into this with 4 MP9s, just Glocks and 2 Deagles for the Party Astronauts, Peeping and Fang with the hand cannons. And Infinite is going to get run boosted with the Glock across middle for the spot. Doesn't bait out any shots. The idea there is to get those shots in, get the trade with the Deag, and Party Astronauts in a very long-range area with arguably the worst gun for long-range duels in the Glocks in the hands of 3.
Yep, some of the worst pistols, yet still they do 95 to Nero before he escapes, and the Deagle combined with the Glock actually drops Dare. OG Wizard finishes what he starts on the Nero, so some good damage done. It's only SMGs dropped, but still 2 kills is more than could realistically be asked of the largely Glock round. Final player will fall without too much fuss, and the rifle again remains in hand for Snav, who got 2 more in this round, or that round I should say. However, Party Astronauts still doing okay damage in spite of the near-complete lack of investment.
Yeah, they've done a lot of damage so far, and now they actually get guns to use. They have AKs across the board. Timbermen having 3 M4s now, just 2 MP9s, investing heavily. No helmet for Nero will not pose a problem. There's a bit of a lack of utility, though, for Party Astronauts as they go all in on AKs instead of getting a little extra util. And a very heavy mid-B lean as well, letting Timbermen push aggressively with the SMG to clear down a ramp. This is going to give all the information they need. They know it's going to be a B take at least early on. Nade will do a crap ton of damage on the OG Wizard, down to 42 HP, as Dare will try to jump spot, and he'll deal with the first. Ben goes out, and he's only able to get 1 so far. Snav is still hiding back, empty pillar as well. Fang out in middle on that lurk, sees 3 players his direction, sprays wild, and only gets the 1. So for Party Astronauts, again, too much overthinking in the strategy, trying to go for these late lurks that's ending up costing the initial site take on the B area, and that's something they'll have to fix, and quickly. No bomb plant means no buy. It's going to be pistols and armor at best. And for Timbermen, a chance to stabilize the CT economy.
Yeah, 3 surviving that prior round is quite good for them. You get some AKs as well for their troubles. Party Astronauts on pistols, as you mentioned as well. The loss bonus gives them some armor and some utility, making this a scary buy. But Party Astronauts have been heavily favoring the B side, at least early on in this map. This round is no different. 4 players here. One is ahead of the Molotov, the rest is behind. There's one player lurking out mid as well. That's Fang again going for the lurk. Aleph is playing on balcony. Leaves us a smoke for a window. Dare is ready to flash his teammate in if necessary. Just straight hold from party astronauts. There's the flash. He'll peek, see nothing. Left will fall back. Smoke it. Party astronauts will walk it. Straight push now for Infinite as he clears angles out close. Finds the first good flash from OG Wizard. Dare backside does get one, and there's a quick rotation from another A1S onto the site. Dare finds one. Dare finds a second. Snav actually stole the first. Fang lurking up catwalk. Now has a lot of duels to take. First secured, second secured as he races around. Looking for the third around door, and he finds it. Shane is the last. He lurked out window, and it looks like he's been heard as well. Fang heard the shots, doesn't get the kill. It's on OG Wizard. It was a supporting player with the utility and only a P250 in hand. It's just not able to get it across the line. The heroics of Fang are not enough to bring his team back into that round, and Timbermen find a fourth, albeit at a hefty cost.
Very hefty cost. Again, the damage is being done by the party astronauts, but they can't even get the bomb down. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nate, but I don't believe they've had a plant in these first 4 rounds.
Don't think so, no.
And yeah, no plant. Hats off to our observer for getting that information to us, because that's a big part of the game. If you're not getting the plant on the T side, it's not going to work out well for you. And Fang just runs out middle into the waiting op of Nero in an early pick for no damage. Now a double pick as Dare underpass, using that aggressive peek from the op as cover, takes out Peep. And party astronauts hemorrhaging bodies in the initial start of this second of this T side. And this 5th round is falling apart. Infinite goes 1 for 1. There's no attempt at a refrag possible there as Ben's way too late at a ramp. This is becoming a disaster half for party astronauts. Sure, their T side's not great on Mirage. It's that... Actually, never mind. I was looking at their nuke T side. Their T side on Mirage is statistically better. And unless they're battling back from down a man again, it's only going to get worse.
Now that you mention that, I wonder if Timberman actually won the knife round. Most teams typically do pick CT side, but both teams, in this case, are favored on the T side. Ben, 1 and done. OG Wizard now 1v2. He knows where 1 is, but he misses the first shot. There's a rather default one as well. Rather, give me, I think is the best way to put it, as an offer. It's a shot that you should be hitting more often than not.
He knew where he was.
5-0. Timbermen, only 2 survive against. Their economy's not going to be flourishing. They've yet to let a round fall by the wayside, and additionally, party astronauts finally secured their first bomb plant. That means with the lost bonus, they can invest. They will be lacking utility on a couple players.
Peeping, only a smoke. OG Wizard double flashes, Infinite a Molotov. Only Ben and Fang really have a full kit to work with here. Heavy ramp pressure from Timbermen. Ben begins to back off, so do Dare and Snav. Infinite working up towards Palace, though, may just run into somebody. But it's another slow round from PA. A very bisecting round as well, as it seems on this T side, they get a couple players mid, and the rest of the team goes towards either A or B. There's not much else besides that. It's mid control and lurk and pressure through apps or a ramp or through Palace. And it's being read by Timbermen.
Is being read. There's letting go of middle in this case, stacking on the A side. They always have the right stack at the right time. 3 towards A. Infinite, though, finds the first. Peeping a second. Infinite, a stellar find on the third. Ready to dismantle this A-site stack. 2 remaining, Nero and a left, Op and M4. Might just elect for the save instead. As we mentioned, they've won 5 in a row, but they have not won these 5 cleanly. And that means that their economy isn't in the best of ways. They don't have that resiliency built up that you might hope they would. Nero staying alive would be able to drop an M4. A left would probably be able to do the same if required. Would give them another solid investment in round 6.
Have 3150, so just enough for an M4 and a flash.
Party Astronauts will hunt a bit, but they shouldn't too voraciously. Keeping 5 alive is very good for the T-side economy. It's far easier to build up. And they want that resiliency on the T-side so they can continue to bring the hate that they finally found their first round.
Yeah, something to note too, Party Astronauts already playing 3 maps of Counter-Strike against Nouns. That's not an easy opponent, so they may have some mental sluggishness to deal with. They didn't even get a break between games either. Just kind of hopped right over here and are going at it again. But that's a much better round from Party Astronauts. They don't lose anybody early, most importantly. They've been playing from the back foot consistently in the first 5 rounds. And they peak together when they explode onto the ace side, which is what really makes that round click. Good shots, sure, but there's trade potential for all of those duels as well. Nobody's getting plucked apart early. Fang's going to go out mid again, but it's a much later start, although peeping, trying to peek out of underpass. His card has finally been called. Nero's expecting it. And Ben just running in. Doesn't spot anybody balcony. Doesn't even think about the possibility. So Aleph can double up and go for more. OG Wizard taking half the damage there. Great flashbang for Aleph, but OG Wizard at least able to take him down on retreat. But Party Astronauts hemorrhaging players once more. And Fang on the rotation. Read like a book by Shane. And that's a messy duel by Fang. He's lucky to get out of that one alive.
Shows the fatigue a bit, perhaps. Fang did have the best of him, no doubt, in that duel. OG Wizard walking up underpass could slip a gap or find a timing. He has been the bomb carrier more often than not thus far in this first half. Timbermen playing the numbers game now. Looks like they are once more. 2 in market going back towards A. 1 in ladder. CT spawn. OG Wizard plants default. Fang is here to support, but it's going to be difficult.
No util for...
Waiting for his teammate. Pushes up. No util left for basically anybody. Smoke Molotov for the CT side, but they definitely want a flashbang right about now. Snap wins the first fight. Fang stuck between a rock and a hard place. Finds the first. The second spotted. The third also heard, but not enough ammo. And no fights cleanly won. The Timbermen take away the 6th and isolate Party Astronauts' 1-round victory in a sea of CT wins.
But because PA won with 5 alive, they can still buy back again. They've been getting bomb plants in the last few rounds as well, so that's been able to bolster their economy. OG Wizard may go for the op, in fact he does. I would like to see him try to take a duel versus Nero here. I feel like you can't be sending your rifles to die to Nero's op. And that's something that Party Astronauts have done too many times on this T side so far. You have an op, use it to try and counter an op if you want to go for that duel. You don't technically have to either. And Timbermen are going back to this A ramp default, which has again cleared out this angle, and instead of playing it more passively as it did the last time, they're going all in, and OG Wizard dropped early by that op of Nero. So he's having himself a very good performance so far, and Party Astronauts are looking tired, they're looking fatigued, they're not looking like they normally do, and they're about to be looking at a 7-1 deficit because Dare is playing this perfectly on the flank. Expecting the players in middle, I don't mind him not going through apartments, because Party Astronauts have put so much emphasis on mid, this is going to cut out the lurkers and get a backstab for free. And he'll take down 1, maybe 2. Indeed, he'll find a pair. Reload as well will come through for him, as Infinite gets tagged down low. Ben's bottom middle, knows where Dare is, but he can't really get out of this. He's in the low ground, he's in the kill box, and he's going to die sometime or other. How many CTs can he take with him, though? Because Timbermen have yet to lose a player in this round. And Dare escapes top mid, too, with that smoke. He's playing this really well up top.
Yes, he is. Ben and Infinite, the final pair. 30 seconds remaining, and they're more paranoid about this flank than they are about the round itself. Seems like they've cut ties with it, more than likely going to save their weapons for the following. They're walking back in, takes the duel versus Ben Leet, but is bested at long last. Again, that damage is done. 10 seconds left. It's a save. Timbermen getting confident. That's a very scary proposition. They have such a lead that they're going to take some risks. They're pressing ramp. Dealing away that round. The individuals are simply appearing and showing up for Timbermen. Snav is leading the team as the IGL at 10-2. Nero's finding success on his op at 8-3. Dare's at 7-8, still doing more than respectable damage. And Party Astronauts are obviously feeling the heat. They're going to try and buy around this save as best they can. Use a tactical timeout to talk things out. They seem to be at a loss.
Mm-hmm. It just seems to be a pretty flat T side. I'm not a fan of how they're treating mid at all. And Party Astronauts have essentially run mirrored of the same mid control lurk take for what, 6 out of these 8 rounds.
Yeah.
And one of them was pistol. And even then they still had that mid lurk in Fang. And they go back to it again. 3 lean A, peeping underpass, Fang towards top middle. The same recipe over and over again. And they're not changing any of the ingredients. They're not even changing the players involved in the situation.
No. And it's been exploited. We saw the op of Nero just playing in connector, finding the opening. This time around, this is the one round that worked. It was the pop out A with the player Palace. It's the same setup from Timbermen, but with some slight adjustments, they'll be able to shut it down outright. OG Wizard, the last alive at ramp, gets a second in the round for his team, but he is alone. And that op is very unwieldy, not very flexible. Walk through the smoke for Dare. He's caught by OG Wizard. Third spotted, but not secured. Nero is the one to win the uppers duel in that technicality. And again, very slight adjustments from Timbermen allow them to shut down the one thing that works for Party Astronauts.
And that's completely red, too. The little bit of utility used from ramp, and Timbermen know, okay, it's going to be their 2A, 1 Palace, 2 mid strat. That's why the duel up in Palace was won cleanly, because it was just a straight read. Timbermen are reading it like a book right now. And Party Astronauts need to go back to the operations manual. Something different. An A pop here with the pistols and the hero rifle of Fang might actually be able to work too. Party Astronauts have yet to try a straight smokes A play. Molotov goes out ramp, but there's other Molotovs raining in from PA. Do they want to smoke it and go through? They don't have the utility for that, so the rotations are coming back in. Now they'll flood out, and Shane's actually going to get 2 on the initial contact. Finally traded out by OG Wizard, as Timbermen are very wary of a potential mid-play. OG Wizard trying to get that bomb down in towards triple. It's a bit more of an open plant, and he'll get it down and survive for a brief moment in time before he's eventually naded into oblivion. Heaping has that Galil, fights for 2, but he'll roast after the first. 1 versus 3 for Infinite, 1 versus 2, but he won't live long. Nero peeks around and removes some fire. Another bomb plant down, but Party Astronauts, their 57.7% T-side win rate on Mirage, will not follow over into the next round.
9-1 is a statement half. Normally, when the going gets tough for Timbermen, your star is Shane. He's the one you look to really be finding damage when things are difficult. But when things are easy, he kind of falls back. He's more supportive. He throws the utility. That is exactly what's happening now. But you still saw that flicker of brilliance. When required, when given the opportunity at triple, he'll double down to shut down the take early. Party Astronauts, another buy, another op for OG Wizard, who's had a disappointing start to this map and start to this half. Op barrel spotted on catwalk. Nero is here. He's going to greed out and try to find it. That's a free one. 2 are in Valley. Actually, a third now is grouped up as Peeping has come out underpass as he has faithfully throughout this first half. And the op of Nero, top smoke of window, finds another onto the very same player I just mentioned. Peeping, the underpass player. Fang, his lurk, it has gotten out of the choke point, but it has no easy kills to be found. Timbermen are reading that he'll go up connector and instead just both playing CT. And sure, Party Astronauts have taken the site, but there's still 2 players down. Make that 3. As Dare catches 1 from window. Catches 2 from window. It's just Fang. Stairs alone. This lurk is supposed to be the one to do a lot of damage and catch rotations, and it finds nothing. 0 damage in the round, except for a little bit of touches here and there, but no kills. Nothing substantive. Timbermen double digits and potentially 11.
Yeah, this is a disaster half for Party Astronauts, and at this point, even a pistol round won't be enough to bring them salvation. A 10-2 at best is nigh impossible to overcome. And I'm sure Party Astronauts will be very happy to get out of this half. But this is not going to be a fun demo watch. This is going to be a very unfun demo watch. It's not like PA have necessarily made bad individual plays. It's just there's been so little adaptation to what's been thrown at them.
Have Party Astronauts played this map with their new 5?
I'm not sure,
right
actually.
now. I'm checking right now.
But
That's
here's
what
the
it feels
thing.
like. Okay, they played it earlier versus Nouns and won at 13-10. Never mind. Out the window.
Unless this is just one of the Timbermen classics where everyone just pops off, which is entirely possible.
It's happened
They
less
have
frequently this season, but it has happened, and it does happen.
Mm-hmm. It's what got them into playoffs last couple seasons, really. That's just timing, but Fang's not ready for it. No trade potential again. And Party Astronauts running into... Nero? What in the world was that?
It's a confusing round to end this first half. Peeping, paranoid about the push ramp, finds Shane. And Party Astronauts might have finally found a winning recipe pushing up Connector. Dare and Aleph, both coming from CT, both with AKs in hand, and now with no utility. Hits are at least there, and Dare gets the double tap onto Peeping, holding at the headshot angle, but still 3 more to unseat. Infinite in Palace just buys time. Planted for jungle, but they're actually flanking CT and playing Connector instead. Dare will tap bomb, try to compel players forward, but this is a losing round at this point for Timbermen. They're just trying their darndest, and the swing from Infinite shows us what he's capable of. 2-10 from Party Astronauts as we hit the halftime break. A dominant 10-2 first half for Timbermen. On the CT side of all sides, sets them up well for a quick first best of one on the evening. It's Pineapple Phillips and Boggs on the mic. Party Astronauts with it all to do. Kit Smoke for Infinite, Molotov Doolies for Ben Leet, and 2 sets of utility for both Nero and Aleph. A dink through the wall, it appears, onto Nero from OG Wizards USP, but he gets a dink in kind from the enemy. Peeping finds Dare, also receives a shot to the head, but still survives. 5 versus 4 on paper for Party Astronauts, but again, 2 players with a combined 17 HP.
Yeah, not a great start as far as HP is concerned for PA. Manpower, sure. Ben with a nice flick over onto Aleph, trying to get into the kitchen. Ben will say there's too many cooks, but will eventually get overwhelmed by the last 3 players of Timberman. Crispy headshot by Fang as he'll roast, but still escape for one more. Shane on site, bomb in hand. Eventually backstabbed by Peeping in that little engagement. One or the other was going to find him, and it's Party Astronauts who grab a pistol round. But a very long road back into this one. Need to see a lot more from this team to even begin believing right now, because it has been a pretty rough first half. 10-2 is never something you want to see. And for PA, they can't really afford to lose any more than what they lost in the first half, so it's back to the buys. M4s, FAMAS MP9s, full Glocks for Timbermen, and this round should be over relatively quickly and in the favor of the Party Astronauts.
It should is the key word. Full Glocks, gonna struggle, especially at range, but Peeping also similarly struggling. Swing from Fang's M4 will be enough, combining fire with OG Wizard. Peeping and Fang got pretty close to death, but Party Astronauts do escape with all 5 alive. 4-10. But as you mentioned, this deficit is so large that I just truly don't believe in it. Not until I see Party Astronauts win, not even this first rifle round, but the second rifle round as well.
Yeah, they need a lot and quickly. So utility floods out for the CT side. Pretty standard default here for Timberman. 1 palace, 1 ramp, 1 apps, 1 aggressively towards middle, and 1 not so aggressively towards middle. PA are not going to be goaded into a push here. They'll hold their line. And so we have a standstill, a stalemate here, with 1:15 to go in the round. I will say, I was very excited to see how the game looked at this level with the animation fixes.
Forgot about those.
That was like the biggest thing that stood out to me throughout the update. A lot of skins, a lot of fluff, but there was some substance underneath it, hidden under all the pomp and circumstance of 3 cases, a battle pass, and all that jazz. A very critical animation update. So I'm expecting to see some more strafing success in general. I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet. I'm not, actually.
I see them dancing around.
That's the thing, that I personally won't use them because of that distraction.
Fair. Less than 30 seconds left, though. Timberman, speaking of distracted, finally make their play up connector. No utility thrown in to try and stop it. In fact, there's not any Molotovs left really to speak of. 3 kills for the price of 2. Dare and Snav make inroads, but with 12 seconds left and Infinite in window, the MP9 will sing at range. 1 kill secured, and a lot of distraction onto the second. Shane tries to put the bomb down out of sheer desperation, but he won't be given that luxury. 1 and 2 AKs recovered. 3 survive for Party Astronauts. Their bonus round works out. And so maybe, just maybe, both these teams have suddenly decided to become CT-sided teams, because both start things off right on their respective CT side halves.
I'm surprised to see Party Astronauts calling a timeout here, because they're having success. Maybe they just want to make sure everything's going according to plan. So that's something. Maybe they don't want to get too aggressive against what is most assuredly a half buy or a force buy at worst. And Timbermen, they're going to go for the half buy. Armor, Tech 9s, Deagle for Shane. Nothing too special there, bit of utility and snav. But Party Astronauts need to keep their players alive, don't give guns over to the T side to do more damage, and get this gap closed to 4 with relative ease if they want to really establish their chances at a comeback in this map. Full rifles is also nice. A couple of AKs helps out. More especially when the next round comes, the actual gun round, but denying the bomb plant would be very good for Party Astronauts here. Fang's playing very aggressive against this potential force buy. That's something to keep an eye on if he gets overwhelmed as the smokes go out towards jungle and stairs. Counter utility tossed in by the CTs. Nade going through as well. No full commitment to an underpass too to keep an eye on. Party Astronauts don't know that yet, of course. Timbermen still not made an exit out of ramp. Finally starting to go through. Fang blinded. Now engaging. Peeping, however, falls. OG Wizard helping out from the smoke. Infinite, another. Fang falls too. Aleph gets another. 2 versus 2. Party Astronauts are falling like flies. This is a big problem for that CT economy. Shane and Aleph, 58 and 32 HP. Recovered M4 for Shane as well up in Palace. Spotted and forced away by fire from Ben. Smoke on his position as well. The bomb down by Tetris. But at this point, the name of the game is damage. And Timbermen have already done quite a bit of that.
Yes, they have. Don't have bomb, sure, but as you mentioned, damage, name of the game. Keep the CT economy honest. Keep it on the brink. Because if you can keep it teetering, if you win 1 round, break it, that's suddenly 2, and that would be 12 for Timbermen, which would be something massive for them. Shane, massive trade, and now a 1v1. OG Wizard up close is beheaded by Shane. 8 HP remaining for him in a massive 1v2. Shane steals the round. And as I mentioned, the CT economy now kind of all over the place. They had a little bit more than you would expect coming into this round on a couple of players who had stocked up and survived. But as you can tell, 2 FAMASs, or 2 MP9s and 1 FAMAS, no kit. A lot to be desired for the CT side.
Yeah, that is a very flat round from Party Astronauts that they should have had no trouble at all converting. And that is a massive question mark overall for their further success. It is.
Lose this round, your economy is truly broken. And you're on pistols and maybe MP9s going up against a 12-5 scoreline. You need to get at least, I would say, 9 before they lose another to realistically have a chance, because Timberman can just pull something out of a hat, something random and aggressive, impulsive even, and it could just work out because of the way the individuals are playing right now. OG Wizard, an uncharacteristic miss to start things off. He does recover onto Shane. Nero, though, finds our player to watch in Fang as a return. We're back to even footing.
Back to even for now. The lone defender in Infinite, the MP9, has to be a turret. And he'll swing out for first contact and fall to Dare, peeping at Ticket Booth. Will attempt to do some damage. OG Wizard walking unawares. A snag will deep drain a pair, peeping 1 and only 1 from CT. And Timbermen, 12-5 up on Party Astronauts, 1 away from taking the first of 2 best of 1s in this one. And that would be great for them moving forward towards the postseason. And for Party Astronauts, their bye to try and stave off defeat in this map, abysmal.
Abysmal. 2 5.7s, 3 MP9s, no kit, lackluster utility. In fact, only 2 players have any utility. It's going to take a miracle at this stage The individuals have looked tired, I think is the best way to put it. Fatigued after their best of 3 versus Nouns. Which, like we are after a long day's work. Benley has at least taken apartments control. That's good control on the extremity. Push towards ramp as well, coming through for Infinite and Fang. Mid control is the name of the game for Timbermen here. Not sure which direction they want to go. Peeping on the cinder block stack. Spots 1 and 2. Only gets the first, but the player swinging con off contact. OG Wizard finds the trade. Nero on the op, but Infinite. A kill at ramp in response. 2 versus 4, 1 versus 4. The player underpass caught. Nero now racing into sight, is hoping to find something. He knows there's at least one player here, and he's actually caught by OG Wizard jumping out the door. Party Astronauts do pass the first real test of this comeback. 4 surviving as well, allows them to build up a good economy. And buy solidly going forward, but they need to win 6 in a row to actually secure the comeback.
Six in a row is a very tall task for Party Astronauts. But this round should not be too difficult for them. Hero rifle for Shane, no armor behind the bulk of their pistols, and a Glock and nothing on Dare. Outlaw has a Tech 9 and a vest. But of course, Timbermen won a round with a little bit less invested firepower-wise than the AK armor of Shane alone, so can't count them out of a round like this. Full mid-control for the T side, but nothing further so far. They have not spotted anybody of Party Astronauts yet, although Fang is moving out towards middle slowly and surely, peeping in mid-window as well, a more tentative angle. Backing away is full of management of this spot. That's an interesting call here. So go back to it. I think that's a much better call. Keep it at least a passive eye on the cross to jungle. As the bulk of Timbermen moving up through cons. Spotted by Fang. Shane taken out to 41 HP. Finished off by the op of OG Wizard. And now it's just a matter of time before the dominoes fall. And for Timbermen, the bomb plant at this point even seems a hurdle impossible to cross.
Seems like an impassable hurdle. Nero does at least pick up the AK, but with no armor, it's going to be difficult. Aleph finds Ben Leet, but Peeping drops Aleph in return. Fang actually drops Aleph, excuse me. 2 versus 3, make it a 1 versus 3. Fang finds another, Peeping the final. Pistols fall. Took a while, but they do all hit the dirt. The op, though, is not going to be recovered. Can they afford one? Fang can drop one. There it is. Timbermen, another crack at bat with a near full investment. Op and 4 AKs, decent detailed on everybody barring Nero. Makings of a potential 13.
Yeah, the double off from Party Astronauts will be something to keep an eye on, too. Ben having that secondary op. Peeping, diving down, running up towards middle. Flash from OG Wizard to allow him to peek. Up a line, Nero. Gone and down for the count. And down towards underpass. OG Wizard first takes a bit of a stumble on his retreat and is caught as he goes back in. Snav taking out Peeping in the meantime, too. 3 versus 3. We're back level again. Rotations up by Timbermen going towards A site. No, the bomb's actually just tossing a bit of utility. And going back into T-Apps, Ben Lead is here raiding for them. The flash will force him away, but he'll still hang around. Expecting a slower peak like that, Dare hits the deck. And so Timbermen down to 2 players. 3 still alive for the Party Astronauts. And time plenty for Timbermen. But to be careful not to run it down too low like a few rounds ago. Snav and Aleph will have to deal with Fang first and foremost in snipers. Stop. Spotted by Fang. Second player now known. And eventually removed. Support flash from Ben helping out. And only 4 rounds separating these 2 teams now.
Can this comeback look more feasible? Double op is in effect for the CT side. OG Wizard and Ben Lee picking up both those weapons. Individuals from Party Astronauts really rallying around and answering the call at this stage. Ben Lee is the bottom at 9, but everybody else is within 8 kills or so of each other. Fang is that star. OG Wizards at 16, TV's at 14, Infinite's at 11. Timbermen also across the board really doing well as a team. 11's at the bottom at 7, but everybody else is doing well, at least to an extent. Pistols and some Kevlar for the T side, and a pop out of apartments is the play. That nade, though, is brutal. Op shot from Ben Lee misses, recovers with the second. Peeping is still holding on catwalk as well. Fang finds one. Drops come through. The sprays belabored. Peeping finds one. Ben Lee to second. The final is Dare at Van. He's caught by Fang jumping forward. 9-12. A succinct one for Party Astronauts, and a clean one as well. Building up their confidence and building up a road for a comeback. They only trailed by 3 now.
It's still quite a gulf, but it is shrinking. Getting closer and closer to overcoming it. Ops still out for both Ben and OG Wizard. Nero has one of his own again. AKs across the board, though. Nero setting up for a smoke first. Looks to be a full A set piece from Timberman. This is always a good go-to when you're struggling to put rounds on the board on the T side. Sometimes it's all you need. Smokes A, flashes high. Let's go get them, boys. And Timbermen are going to run on through. A CT smoke from Fang, actually, to allow him to cross. Molotov reigns in behind it. There's a bit of a gap here. Aleph seeming to try to exploit it, but nobody's going to give him the opportunity yet. The bomb begins to tick away. Aleph spots a couple of players, only taking down one. Fang there for the trade, but no further kills yet for Party Astronauts as Timbermen use their last piece of utility in a flashbang. Party Astronauts missing the first contact. Infinite falling to snap from Firebox. Speaking out for more as the smoke on site will fade. Fang clearing around. Ops on the other 2 players. Missed shot from Ben. Shane has OG Wizard. All up to Fang. Needing 5 kills in the round. And he does not even get the first of his 1 versus 4. It's a 13-9 in favor of Timbermen. Took him a little longer to close the game. But still, with a 10-2 half, it would have been almost impossible for them to lose.
Yeah, 10-2 really just made it near impossible for Party Astronauts to come back into this. They showed us some good mental fortitude, stayed alive, tried their darndest, won 7